All right, so I'm totally winging this, but let's go on ahead and see what we need to do. I'm going to run this, remind myself where we were when we last left off. So we have these buttons at the bottom, and I said what I wanted you guys to do is to change pen color based on clicking these buttons. So let's go ahead and make some action listeners. Let's make one class that actually handles all of these. I think that'd be kind of fun. I think we can do that. So I'm going to say color button click maybe, and I'm going to make a new class. Color new class color button click. And this, of course, is going to implement action listener. We'll have to include that. All right. And now let's go on ahead and what do we have to make? Is it void action performed? Performed action event E. Got to include action event or import it, and then that should work. Lowercase a. There we go. All right, and I want this to be something where I can use multiple different colors. So I'm going to say in our constructor, color button click, I want to pass in a string. That's the color. I may need to pass in other things. In fact, I will need to pass in other things. But for now, I'm just going to say we can pass in the string. And I want to make an attribute here, private color that. I want to make it the class color. And the string, so I'm going to say, for example, if call dot equals, because it's a string, we'll say red. Let's say call dot, is there two lowercase? Yes. That way it becomes not dependent on that way it's not dependent on how they capitalize something or how we capitalize something. If color dot two lowercase dot equals red, then color equals new color, and this should be 255.00, right? Else if, and then I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm going to say, what do we have? Red, green, blue, white, black, I think. Red, green, blue, white, black, and then let's just make it default to. Let's make it default to black. If anything screws up, it can. It'll just be black in that case. And then we'll say color equals new color, and then this is green, so it's 0, 255, red, green, blue. Color equals new color, 0, 0, red, green, blue. Color equals new color. White is 255, 255, 255. And then black is 0, 0, 0. All right, so now we've made something that can create this color, and it depends on the way we call it. So let's go ahead and create these action listeners before we actually set up the action listener to do anything. So when we create them, we create, where do we create these buttons? We create them here. So let's see. That probably exploded my microphone. All right. We've got the red button, and then we add the red button. So we can go on ahead under here, and we can say action listener, creating a new one of these. Red button click equals new color button click. And then I'm going to pass in the string red. And then I want to do the same thing for green. Pass in the word green. And change this to green button click. Down here, blue button click, and change this to blue. White button click, change this to white. And then, oh, this should be black. And then white button click, change this to white. And we can also say, instead of action listener, just create it, we need to say button red dot add action listener red button click. Hey, look, it got the exact right one. All right, and then we'll do the same for all of these. We got green. What am I? Oop, it should be button green. And this is green button click. Button blue. Whoop. Dot add action listener, and then blue button click. This one's black, so button black, black button click, and this last one is white. And here's the thing, I am not 100% sure, but I'm 95% sure that we can add that action listener after we add it to the panel, because that's object-oriented stuff, right? We're affecting that reference, and that probably just has a reference to the button. But who knows? Maybe we'll see that we have to do that before we add in the button to the panel. Like I said, I doubt it. White, white, black, black, blue, blue, green, green, red, red. No errors so far. Okay. Let's have it print. Color dot I don't know that I want the color components. Do I want get Why don't I just try toString? So print color. We'll see what that does. Oh, okay, interesting. So it gives me a color, and if I click these different buttons, we get red, green, blue. The first one I clicked was blue. Black and white. Okay, but this does not yet actually pass that back and change penColor. So we will need to send, why don't we just send a reference to penColor directly, and then we can we do that? Change the color itself? Well, let's see. Can we change a color without changing the object reference? So color dot. Can we set the color? It doesn't look like it really. Like it says get red, get RGB. Looks like it does want you to create a new one. Just trying to think of the best way to do this object-oriented. I mean, the easiest thing to do, of course, would just be to pass the ImageGui down to the color button click, and then it can just access penColor or access a setter or something like that. But I'm trying to think if there's a way to do this. Because if we just say penColor, if we just passed in penColor and then we just did like penColor equals, right, that's going to change the reference here to something new, and that's not what we want to do. We don't want to change that object reference in here to a different reference than it is in ImageGui. We want it to change the values within it. So that's why I wish that there was a mutator method with color to set the different RGB. You can hear my daughter in the background. To set the different values instead of just get. And I'm not seeing it. All right, well, I assume create context does not do it. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's just do this the hard way then. Let's pass in this is another. All right. I guess what we do is we do public void set penColor equal to we take it to a color penColor equals C, right? Super easy. And because this ImageGui is, it makes sense for ImageGui to have the penColor as an attribute. So then we take this and we, whenever we create a new color button click, we pass in this. Now this is referring to the ImageGui instance, right? The object. So it's going to give you a reference to the ImageGui object itself. So what we pass this in here, we say that this color button click ImageGui, I'll call it IG, IG. And we'll call it parent, and parent equals IG. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, and I'll talk about why I think this is probably wrong in a bit here. But parent dot set penColor color. There. Now, in fact, why don't I keep that there for now? And when I click this, we see, we've got that same printout like we did before, and it should be setting the pen color. So we can work on actually making it draw things whenever we are together again. I'm hoping Monday, right? We can do that so that we can actually create some kind of doodling software here. But what I was going to say about this probably being not the best way to go about it, I'm not a GUI designer. Like I've said many times, my expertise is on numerical methods and kind of just calculation-based programming. But I do know that there's a very kind of strict hierarchy when designing a GUI of what it's kind of expected is going to be an attribute of something else. And it's not always obvious that you should be passing in a parent object into a child thing. Like there's probably a better way to access this pen color in ImageGui in Java than this. It's possible in C++ to do something called create a pointer to a function, which is kind of almost related to interfaces in a way. But it allows you to basically get a method from another class. And then using that, then you can directly access that method. So what I was wanting to do was kind of like take 10 or 15 minutes to figure out if that's possible in Java, and then just pass this like set pen color into color button click. That's why the entire object isn't an attribute of color button click. Only the method that it needs would be, which would be a neater way to do it, and still probably isn't the right, air quotes, right way to do it if you were going to follow all the best practices, which, again, I'm sorry, I don't know. This isn't even part of the curriculum, so I don't feel too bad about it. Yeah, it would be nice if we could just pass in just the method, or if there's another class that would make a lot of sense to create that could kind of contain all that stuff. The problem is I don't know that there's a class that would make a lot of sense, unless maybe there was like a pen class that we had, and that pen class had the pen color, but also like those the action listeners to those buttons or something. I don't know. Maybe you guys have a better thought than I did about how we could control all these in a way that is object-oriented friendly, but also pass all the required information into this action listener class. All right, well, that's it for this week. And if you guys can just show me what you've got on Monday, there's no need to send it to me, even though I've been getting some updates from some of you guys. And if you have other questions, just go ahead and shoot me an email. And I will get to them at latest when we're in class together again. Thanks for going through these videos, and I hope you have a good weekend.